I want to speak directly as a former legislator from Taiwan. Taiwan's legislature must pass the urgent defense budget. Taiwan's national security cannot be a partisan issue. Taiwan's political parties, both ruling and opposition, must stand in unity when facing national security threats. Only by strengthening our own resilience, demonstrating resolve, and backing commitments with action can we ask the world to stand with us.
Good afternoon now, which we're probably way behind. I apologize. Shifting from the military environment, our next panel will focus on undersea infrastructure and strategic resources. More specifically, we'll hear experts speak about China's approach to subsea cables and seabed mining. Our first witness is Jason Hsu, a senior fellow at the Hudson Institute. Our second witness is Dr. Seaver Wang, who currently serves as the Director of Climate and Energy at the Breakthrough Institute. Oops. And finally, we'll hear from David Calhoun, who's the Director of Barron. I'm going to ask the staff to put the longer statement in the record, so in the interest of time, I'll turn it over to the three of you for opening statements. And I should pick the order. Why don't we go to Dr. Hsu first? It's probably what we agreed on, isn't it, Dr. Hsu?
Chair Shriver, Vice Chair Kagan, distinguished members of the Commission, it is an honor to appear before you today on what I believe is one of the most urgent security challenges facing Taiwan and the broader Indo-Pacific region: China's deliberate campaign against undersea cable infrastructure. As a former legislator in Taiwan and now a senior fellow at the Hudson Institute, my work has focused on technology, defense, and gray zone coercion. What we are witnessing under the sea is not an isolated maritime incident. It is a systematic pressure, calibrated, deniable, and escalating. Let me be clear. Subsea cable security is not a future risk. It is a present and accelerating danger. Subsea fiber optic cable carries roughly 97% of global intercontinental data traffic. Despite the image of the wireless world, nearly all the financial transactions, semiconductor coordination, military communication, and cloud infrastructure depend on the subsea cables. Taiwan connects to the world through just 24 undersea cables. These cables sustain Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing, financial markets, civilian communication, government and military command systems. A prolonged disruption would not only inconvenience 23 million people. One estimate places the economic cost at 55 million per day, before accounting for critical damage on global semiconductor supply chains. The Taiwan Strait is not just a geopolitical fault line, it is a data artery of global economy. In February 2023, two cables connecting Taiwan's Matsu Islands were cut within 6 days, first by a Chinese fishing vessel, then by a cargo ship dragging anchor. 14,000 residents endure over 50 days of degraded connectivity. Between January and February 2025 alone, Taiwan recorded 4 additional cable disruption incidents, one of which involved a Tanzania flag vessel controlled by a Hong Kong company, crewed by a Chinese national, that disabled its tracking system before dragging its anchor across the key Trans-Pacific link. The vessel, Hong Tai 58, responsible for severing a Taiwan Penghu cable, had previously operated under 2 other names across 3 maritime registries. This is not coincidence. This is a shadow maritime network designed for deniable gray zone operations. Even more concerning is the growing coordination between China and Russia. In November 2024, the Chinese vessel Yipan 3 dragged its anchor for over 100 miles in the Baltic Sea, severing 2 European cables. European investigators identified Russian crew presence and intelligence coordination between Russia and China. The lesson is clear. Subsea infrastructure attacks are becoming normalized forms of hybrid warfare. The threat must not be assessed in isolation. It is part of the increasingly integrated challenges to U.S. and allies' resilience. In PLA doctrine, cutting undersea cable is among the earliest pre-invasion actions. By targeting as few as 3 cable clusters near the Bashi Channel, China could theoretically reduce Taiwan's international bandwidth by up to 95%. Combined with cyber operations and satellite jamming, this would create a multi-domain informational denial strategy from space to the seabed. In the peacetime, average cable repair time exceeds 40 days. Taiwan has no indigenous cable pair ships. In the wartime, repairs would be nearly impossible. Satellites are necessary, but not sufficient. My recommendations. Congress can act on several fronts. Number 1, pass the Taiwan Undersea Cable Resilience Initiative Act. Number 2, modernize the international legal framework governing cable protection. The current convention dates back to 1884. Number 3, expand enforcement tools and sanctions targeting IUU vessels and the proxy actors used in cable sabotage. On the Taiwan side, Taiwan should build indigenous cable repair capacity, ideally with Japan. Taiwan's Coast Guard should expand its vessel watch list, patrols near the critical cable corridors. Taiwan must diversify landing stations beyond current metropolitan concentration points, reducing the geographic choke points that make the entire system vulnerable to a handful of precision strikes. In conclusion, the United States has a narrowing window to strengthen deterrence before crisis dictates the response. China will continue gray zone operations as long as the costs remain low and ambiguity remain exploitable. Undersea cables are not just infrastructure. They are the barbed wire of the 21st century digital information order. They mark the threshold between stability and isolation. In a Taiwan contingency, cable disruption will not be the beginning of war, but it will be the signal that escalation has begun. Before I close, I want to speak directly as a former legislator from Taiwan. Taiwan's legislature must pass the urgent defense budget. Taiwan's national security cannot be a partisan issue. Taiwan's political parties, both ruling and opposition, must stand in unity when facing national security threats. Only by strengthening our own resilience, demonstrating resolve, and backing commitments with action can we ask the world to stand with us. Thank you for the opportunity to testify. I welcome your questions.
帮台湾队集气，经典赛锁定3立新闻网。